E. Martin in the house. I'm with my 3 of my 4 crazy daughters. There's Shy. Say hey, what's up, Shy? All right, Jasmine, what up, baby girl? And Z Low in his house. All right, so I'm turning it, and this is their dad. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but anyway, we are at the Cheesecake Factory, putting it in, and I don't get to hang out with these sisters too often because they all grown now, and they don't like hanging out with me like they did when they was little.
That is not the
So
reason. That is not the reason.
That's not the reason.
Do not be lying to the internet like that.
Y'all ain't grown.
Well, we
Not
are
true.
grown, but not too
Y'all-
grown for you.
Not too grown for your dad. All right, well, that makes me feel better. All right, we gonna put it away though, ladies? We gonna put it in? All right. I love you all, and I just wanted to holler at you. Peace. Good morning, Millennials and Gen Z. How we doing today? Welcome back to another live stream, Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. We're back for another one, Millennials and Gen Z. Hope all is well. We did a live stream yesterday. This is Thanksgiving week, so I will be doing a live stream every day, Monday through Sunday. Today's Tuesday, so we're going to get another one in. Glad to be here. Glad to be alive. Glad to be blessed. And just here to share my wisdom with you, Millennials and Gen Z. So what we're going to be discussing today, Millennials and Gen Z, is it matters what you answer to. Let me repeat that. It matters what you answer to. Now, let's think about that. Let's process that for a minute. What am I meaning by it matters what you answer to? Well, it does, right? It matters what you answer to in your job. It matters what you answer to in your family. It matters what you answer to with your friends. Because, we live in a world where there's just a lot of foul people. I want to call you out your name, be disrespectful. So these folks need to be checked. They have to get checked, right? Oh, before I go on, mi amigos and amigas, bienvenidos aquí. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Cómo te sientes hoy? Gracias. My Spanish speakers, you're all welcome as well. Okay, so it matters what you answer to is huge because I've lived a long enough life. I'm 59 years of age. And me sharing my wisdom with you, Millennials and Gen Z, what you answer to is very, very important. You should never allow anyone to disrespect you. You should never allow anyone to disrespect your name. You should never allow anyone to disrespect your environment or your space. So that's what I'm talking about when discussing it matters what you answer to. Because the world, a lot of times, they just don't give a damn. Really doesn't. We live in a world where people take freedom of speech to where they feel they can say whatever the hell they want to say. It's good, but what you got to understand, in this life of ours, I live on the line of you get what you give. That's how I get down. And I'm not going to allow anyone to disrespect me, my environment, or my space. Not happening. Ever. I've never done that. Right? So if you can't call me by my name and address me respectfully, it ain't happening. I don't have a problem checking anybody. You feel me? Because a lot of folks that want to call you out your name, they've never been checked. And until they get checked, they're going to be disrespectful. They're going to be crazy. Now, Share My Wisdom podcast, we're all about good vibes over here. Don't come over here with no foolishness. Don't come over to my YouTube channel with no nonsense, because I'm going to shut you down if you do. I am here to share my wisdom with you, Millennials and Gen Z. And I am sure there's a lot of you that are not going to agree. And it's good. You can have your opinion. Don't have a problem with that. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to come to my YouTube channel and just think you could talk crazy and be disrespectful and leave crazy comments, because I will block them. Not entertaining it at all. Not now, not in the future. Good vibes only. And if you can't respect that, you need to go to someone else's YouTube channel. You need to go to another content creator and harass them, because we're not doing it over here at Share My Wisdom Podcast with Uncle E. So, with that being said, I have another great video that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Once again, coming from TikTok, my library of education. And really enjoyed doing the research on this, Millennials and Gen Z. This is going to be a good one. It's let me see here. It is, let's see, the video I'm sharing is about 20 minutes long. So, a lot of good information coming from TikTok. You share your lives through TikTok, a lot of Millennials and Gen Z. So, no need for me to reinvent the wheel. I will take that information and I will repurpose it and I will share it with you for what I need to do on my YouTube channel. Okay, before we get into the video, let's take a look at my YouTube channel. And we're going to take a look at these ebooks that I sell. Okay, let me make sure this is up. Okay, that is my YouTube channel. Share My Wisdom Podcast with Uncle E. And if you go to more and you click on more, this is the About Me. And if you go down, see the links. These are all the links, right? Click on Share My Wisdom Podcast ebooks. Okay, let me make sure it's up. Okay, that is up. Good. Okay, here are my ebooks. I have 23 ebooks that I sell. Each ebook is for purchase $7. The Daddy's Girls, A Father's How-To, and Building Lifelong Relationships with Our Daughters. It's a $15 ebook because I have another YouTube channel called Girl Dad YouTube channel where I work directly with fathers of daughters, regardless of their ethnic group, background, and or culture. So that's a separate YouTube channel. I got 2 YouTube channels going at once. And Daddy's Girls is a self-published book. I self-published in 2020. It's available at Amazon.com in a paperback, and I'm selling it as an ebook as well. Okay. So like I said, all my ebooks are $7 a piece. They go hand in hand with my live streams, and each ebook that I've written, I will be doing a live stream on. Okay. So if you're interested, no pressure. Feel free to purchase them. $7 a piece. We'll check them out. These are my ebooks. And you can see your brother's gotten busy. I love sharing my wisdom with you, young people. And yeah, these are my ebooks. So $7 a piece, or you could purchase 22, all 22 of them for $100. You save about $50 if you do it that way. All right, let me bring this back up. So, Millennials and Gen Z, it matters what you answer to. It really, really does. And as you get older and you further yourself in your careers, I'm sure most of you have already had experiences with working with people that are just difficult, managers, supervisors, right? And you always got to keep your head up and your chest out, right? But the one thing I encourage all Millennials and Gen Z, don't allow anyone to disrespect you. Because most folks that are disrespectful, they've never been checked. I'm telling you, I've lived long enough. I've had to check a lot of folks in my lifetime, right? And checking someone puts them on onus that you're not playing, right? So it matters what you answer to, Millennials and Gen Z. Let's get into this video. Let's check it out. Let me get it set up here. Okay, let me change that. Let's see where I want to be. There we go. Okay, Millennial and Gen Z. It matters what you answer to. Here's the video.
Always remember this, my friend. It doesn't matter what people call you. All that matters is what you answer to.
You're not affected by things. You're affected by your response to things. It's a big meditations thing, but like when things suck, like you can parse that away and put that together and it can help you.
That's the conclusion I came to. And a lot of times when I speak, I talk about that. Like the biggest change, the shift for me in my life was when I realized that the reason I was in the rock bottom that I was in the dark place I was in was not because of what happened to me or what I seen or did. It was because of the choice I made in response to those things.
Remember, it's not just what happens to you today, it's your response to what happens to you. When I figured that out, it made a huge difference in how I managed my stress, how I managed my day, and how I managed my responsibilities.
It doesn't matter what life throws at you, Seneca says, it matters how you bear it. So of course he's talking about adversity. Are you cool under pressure? Are you strong even when the blows of fate land against you? That's part of it. But I think he's also talking about good fortune, about good things happening to you. Does success make you better or worse? Does recognition make you better or worse? Does money make you better or worse? Marx really says that the key is to accept difficulty with indifference, but also to accept success, the good stuff, without arrogance. So that's what the Stoics mean. It doesn't matter what it is, good or bad, big or small, wonderfully fast or terribly slow. What matters is who you are inside of it, who you are while it's happening, and then, of course, who you become once you get it, once you get through the other side. Does it make you better or worse? That's the question. Doesn't matter what it is. It matters how you deal with it. It matters whether it changes you or not.
Now, this might be an unpopular opinion. Delivery fucking matters. How you talk to me is just as important as what you say to me. Call it a trauma response, hyper awareness, stupid, childish. Call it what you will, but it is what it is. If your tone is off, so are my ears. If your delivery is off, so are my ears. All that's gonna happen is I'm gonna end up getting defensive. I'm going to shut down, I'm going to stop talking, or I just stop listening. And you know what? I actually don't feel that bad about that. I don't believe in letting people just talk to me any old kind of way. It's just not a thing in my life that I'm willing to tolerate. So if you really want your thoughts and opinions and hot takes to be heard, work on your delivery before you come to me. Think it through. Reread that message and make sure it came off how you intended. It's not that hard. But you know what is hard? Being ignored when you're trying to express yourself. That's exactly what happens when you don't consider your delivery.
I can punch you, you fall, bust your head on the cement, you start leaking, you die. Yep. I'm going to jail. Absolutely. That's a fact. Absolutely. All because of a hot moment where I felt disrespected, or I felt like, you know what, you treated me a certain way that I wasn't supposed to, injustice, if you will. You treated me in a certain way I wasn't supposed to be treated. Yeah. I responded. Now I'm going to jail for life.
One way to increase the probability that things will unfold for you properly is to not lie. Just stop lying. Period. Stop saying things you believe to be untrue. Stop doing things you know to be wrong. Just start with that. You'll get closer and closer to the truth, and the truth is the adventure of life. That's the advantage to the truth. You have the world on your side. But obviously, because if you're lying about things, you're opposing reality. Who are you? Who are you to oppose reality? Good luck.
It's irrelevant what other people say. And once you come to understand that, the noise quiets. If you can understand that it is irrelevant what people gossip, it is irrelevant what they say, it is irrelevant if they laugh, it is irrelevant if they doubt you, it is irrelevant if they talk shit, and you understand that the only thing is relevant is what you do, you're going to succeed. It has nothing to do with those people, it has everything to do with your actions. And if you're smart, you will take that negativity and you will draw the energy out of it, and you will let that propel you with productive action.
Doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you do. And if I want to figure out what you believe, I don't ask you. I watch how you act. And I assume that your true beliefs are those that are directing your actions. And so truth is discovered in action. And that's a very different claim, you know, and it's not the claim of a passive observer. It's the claim of someone who's actively interacting with the world. And of course, we are always acting. We're always acting interactively with the world. And not only that, if we don't act interactively with the world, we cease to exist.
I have my favorite quote.
What's your favorite quote?
What you're not changing, you're choosing. You got something in your life you complaining about and you're not changing it. Could be your relationships, your body, your health, your job. You're choosing it.
You're choosing it.
Never accept a position where you have the responsibility, but you don't have the authority.
Be careful what you tolerate, because people they will try to test you. And so I know that I say this a lot. We already know this, but sometimes we need to be reminded that you need to be careful what you tolerate. Because what ends up happening is when you keep tolerating things and you keep letting things go and you slide it underneath the rug and you keep saying, I'm going to forgive and move on and forget, the same repetitive behaviors won't go away. You can't change people. People don't want to be changed and they don't like constructive criticism. You need to move along. You need to realize that you can no longer be with this particular person or carry on the same relationship that you once had, and that is okay. A lot of times you just stick around with people because we're comfortable, and that's not okay half the time, because what ends up happening is you're going to start resenting this person or this relationship, whatever it is, and you're going to tell yourself, why did I allow it to let it go this long and I didn't stop it? Okay. So this is your reminder that if you are around somebody that you are just tolerating and you can no longer tolerate it anymore, cut it off. That's it. You need to be done with it. I love you, and I hope this helps somebody today.
You can't rely on people. You can't depend on people for shit. No matter how trustworthy you are, how genuine you are, how real you've been to them, you can't rely on people for shit, especially in today's generation. You just can't.
When somebody has their mind made up about you, I don't care how many times you defend yourself, how many languages you put it in, how much proof you have, it isn't effective. Let them wallow. 2 + 2 is 8. Yes. You're a jerk. Okay. You did this. Fine. Do not engage. Your ego wants to win. Let them win the day because you're winning in life. I've said this 200 times. If someone is smearing you to someone and they believe it and they don't want to know the truth, your truth, so what? So what? The more you run around town trying to defend yourself, you look insecure. You look almost guilty at times of what it is that they're saying. You're trying to defend too much. It's too much. You're trying to not defend enough. It's still not enough. So either way you do it, you're screwed. So stop defending yourself. Let the limited mindset people be there. Continue living.
People that keep telling you that things are impossible and that you can't do them, it's because they can't. Or they couldn't. Or they could have at one point and they weren't able to. So it's really coming from a place of deep, deep insecurity at the end of the day. And even the ones that tell you not to do something with good intentions, like family members or close friends and relatives, they're really, again, speaking to their own fears about the world. Even if they're telling you not to go do this, it's too hard, you're not going to graduate college, or you're not going to be able to be an entrepreneur and get a job. They mean well, but the road to failure is created by the best intentions in the world. I've never been harmed in my life more than by people that had good intentions.
I think the easiest way to change behavior is to get around other people who already have the behavior you want normalized, right? And so I would always joke with my trainer, like, is your six-pack contagious? Like, can it rub off on me? And I remember one day he was like, yes. I'm like, can we explain how that works? He's like, because if you hung out with me all the time, I don't drink, I'm up early. I work out every day. I work out really hard. If you saw my intensity level paired with the normal person's intensity level, aka yours at the gym, you would probably up yours, and it would just be natural.
Like, I was 28 years old in my psychiatric residency before I heard a professor say, you don't have to believe every stupid thing you think. That thoughts are not reality.
Yeah.
That thoughts come from all sorts of places. They come from your ancestors. They come from the voices of your mom and dad. They come from the news you listen to, from the music you hear, from your friends, from your foes. And they lie.
So I was thinking, life is about growing and learning and being better. And I was thinking about, how as a woman of God, you have to change the way that you think. You have to transform yourself. And we have to change the way that we do things. We have to change the way, like I said, the way that we think. And we have to change the way that we respond. And that's one of the things that I've been working on, is my response, how I respond to people when they come at me in an ill way or in a disrespectful manner. In a carnal minded way, your first reaction is what? To cuss somebody out, right? Cuss them out, beat them up, whatever, let them have it. But as a woman of God, you have to learn how to respond in a godly way. And sometimes I had to stop and tell myself, really, what would Jesus do? And how should I respond to certain people and to certain things as a woman of God? And that's something that I have been, teaching myself to do. Is not always easy, but you can definitely get your point across to people, and you can still be stern without having to curse them out. And you can also respond in a way they probably would not expect you to respond, in a more loving, take a more loving approach instead of a rejecting approach or a defensive approach. So that's one of the things that I have been working on, is my response. And it's been some stuff that I've had to deal with. The devil is real, demons are real. People, they want to try you when they think that they can, or they don't think that, they don't know you, and they don't think that, you strong enough to handle what they trying to bring at you. Never underestimate the power. Anyway, so I'm learning to work on my responses. Like I said, it's not been easy. It has not been easy. Like I said, sometimes when you're thinking carnally, you automatically get in defensive mode. You want to cuss somebody out, you want to beat somebody up. But sometimes we gotta stop, pause, wait a minute, and rethink your reaction, or rethink your response. So, as people of God, as women of God, as children of God, how we respond is important. So, we have to learn how to respond in a godly way, because it is my desire, it's my true desire to please the Lord and how I respond matters.
First thing I look at when I get a big long letter in, can I answer by telephone? Because telephone is so much better and just saves all that energy and all that time. So I'd say at least 50% of the letters that I'm going to write, I don't write. I use the telephone. The next thing that I'll do is I will draft up a response to an important letter. I'll take that response and I will put it away for 24 hours. And then when I get up in the morning, I'm fresh, I look at it and see if that's the response that I want. The number 3 thing, what I do is I use my team a lot. So if it's something that's very important, it's an important issue, I will draft up my letter and I will send it out to my team. And I say, look, I finished this letter. Please add anything you can think of. What have I left out? And I get that letter back and there's changes, even just typos and corrections, but there's always changes. But usually there's some real ideas.
I'm not going to throw my kid out of the house, but what am I supposed to do with a 20-something who doesn't pitch in around the house, who treats my house like a hotel, or who doesn't respect me at all when I ask her to do something or ask him to do something? What am I supposed to do? What consequence am I supposed to give? I get some form of this question over and over and over again. If there is disrespect in the relationship between you and your emerging adult child, you didn't get here overnight. There have been a series of moments over time that have brought you to the current relationship that you're in. And you're continuing to look at this series of events as if you need to find the right discipline, punishment, consequence, as if they're a teenager. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, but they're acting like a teenager. They're not taking responsibility for themselves. They're not being accountable to themselves. So that's why I stay in this dominant position, because they're not taking responsibility. And I get it. And I'm sure it is incredibly frustrating for you, but you have to start looking at this relationship differently now that they're in their 20s. I'm speaking more specifically to parents who have their emerging adults living at home and are super frustrated with them not moving forward in their lives and or not participating around the house. You need to start shifting out of this I'm the parent, you're the child mode and into how can we fix this together? There's a problem. And the problem is ... Define the problem, but don't use you. Use I. Let me give you an example. Son, there's a problem. And the problem is I don't get a decent night's sleep before going to work in the morning. When you go out, and I am concerned about whether or not you're going to make it home in one piece. I need to be able to go to work with a rational mind, having had a decent night's rest. How can we work together to solve this problem? In order to teach accountability, you have to start inviting the young person into solving the problem with you and get out of this cycle of, I've got to come up with a punishment or a consequence. Most of the time, the natural consequences of the choices that they are making will teach them the life lessons that they need to learn. As scary as that might be at times, parents need to allow those natural consequences to take place. And parents, you also have to learn to set boundaries for yourself. At this stage of the game, when you have an emerging adult who's living at home, and they may be struggling with mental health issues, and let's say they won't get help, and you won't throw them out of the house. Part of the condition of living at home is that they start working on their mental health. And your energy has to stop coming from trying to control them. It has to come from being confident in your message, being very clear, and if you've got a co-parent with you, the both of you being on the same page, and consistently, calmly sharing the message that they need to get help in order to continue living at home. It will likely take more than one conversation. I regularly help parents stuck in this cycle, stuck in this situation. I help them come from a place of confidence, to clarify their message, to be consistent with their message, and to calmly share that message. The change in the dynamic has to start with you, and that is a shift in the approach.
Okay, Millennials and Gen Z. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Would love to see your comments, and would love to see your feedback. right? Because sharing my wisdom podcast with Uncle E, this is what I'm doing. I'm sharing my wisdom with you. Now, you had a variety of people, humans from all socioeconomic backgrounds and cultures. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I'm very diverse when it comes to men and women. And like I said, I really appreciate TikTok because there's just a wealth of education there. It's a library of education. And doing the research that I do when I'm putting my live streams together is a blessing. So I feel good about it. And as you can see from these humans, they're approaching life, looking through their lens, and being as best prepared as they can. So millennials and Gen Z, it definitely matters what you answer to. And it is something, being 59 years of age, for me, professionally, where I've worked 20 years in the criminal justice system and then 10 years in K-12 education. So I worked with children and their parents for 30 plus years. And kids have really, really taught me a lot just about life. So I learned a long time ago professionally, if I'm going to reach young people, I have to meet them where they're at. Not where I want them. I have to meet them where they're at, and I have to listen. Don't do a lot of talking when I'm dealing with young people. I do a lot of listening, though. So it matters what you answer to. And one of the most important things, millennials and Gen Z, it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. Let me repeat that. It doesn't matter how you start your life, but it definitely matters how you finish your life. You feel me? You should always be able to walk away from all situations with your head up high, feeling good about your decision making. Own your decision making. Own it. It's going to make you a better human being. It's going to make you better at life. When you go into situations, millennials and Gen Z, that aren't going to be kind and possibly pleasant to you, do your best to always come out better than how you arrived. That's how I've lived my life. And it's always worked for me because I'm very, very objective. Not much gets to me. It just really doesn't. I'm only in control of what I can control. What I can't control, I don't worry about. It's not on me. I control my actions. I control my feedback. I control how I interact. I control how I go out. I'm in control of those things. How other folks act around me, not in control of it. But I'm controlling my actions. So just wanted to share that with you, millennials and Gen Z. It's been another good live stream, I believe. And as we get further into sharing my wisdom podcast with Uncle E, in January, like I said, I'm going to be changing my format up. I'm going to get through the rest of this year and do things a little bit different. I want to bring on millennials and Gen Z onto my YouTube channel and, give you an opportunity to come on my podcast, and let's have these discussions. Let's talk about these one-on-one discussions that need to be had. I just believe that the elders, my generation and baby boomers before me, I believe they should step up and step into the lives of these younger people, because a lot of younger people, you're really, really struggling. And we have the answers because we've lived it. We've been there and we've done it. I'm all about sharing information. I'm all about good vibes. I'm all about solutions. That's how I get down. Okay. I will not ever allow myself to be around negative people or in a negative environment. It's not happening. Because my peace is going to happen. I'm in control of that. I will make sure of it. So All right, Millennials and Gen Z. It's been another live stream. It's been another good live stream. I appreciate you. Feel free every time I subscribe, like, share. Feel free to share my videos. Subscribe, like, share. Feel free to do a reaction to any of my live streams. Okay? I don't have a problem with that. As long as you're objective. No foolishness, no nonsense, okay? Because I'm sharing my wisdom with you. I've lived a good life. I've lived a decent life. I've lived a consistent life. And, my 4 adult daughters, 36, 30, 27, and 24, amazing women. All amazing women. Love my baby girls. They're awesome. Living their best life, doing their thing professionally. So very grateful, very proud of all them sisters. All right. So, mis amigos, hasta mañana por la mañana. We'll be doing it again tomorrow. Like I said, I will be doing a live stream every week, every day this week. And it's Tuesday. So tomorrow's Wednesday. And I welcome you all, Millennials and Gen Z. Okay? All right. May God bless you. Keep your heads up. Enjoy these holidays. I will keep you in my daily prayers. I will. I pray that you do the same for me as well. All right? Okay, Millennials and Gen Z. This is Ephraim B. Martin. I'm out. I'll holler at you in the morning. Peace.